I'm gonna be revising dural venous sinuses with y'all. तो फिर here we'll get ourselves done with the easy part first, which is the unpaired sinuses. तो falx cerebri के just ऊपर there is a superior sagittal sinus और नीचे is an inferior sagittal sinus, जिसको connect करने के लिए there is a straight sinus. Superior sagittal sinus, inferior sagittal sinus, straight sinus, right? अभी इनको like इधर connecting here, this point will come to later, connecting here is an occipital sinus. This is an occipital sinus, right? Now we'll trace इसमें, as we can see, the number one is superior sagittal sinus, and वो नीचे आते आते there we see the point that I was talking about, here being the point, hold on, this being the point, and then uske anteriorly there is the straight sinus और उसके anteriorly anterosuperiorly there is the inferior sagittal sinus. Now from the same that point that I was talking about, now starts the hard part. यहाँ से we'll trace the paired sinuses. पेड साइनसेस कैसा होता है, यहाँ पे एक ट्रांसवर्स साइनस जाएगा, यहाँ पे एक ट्रांसवर्स साइनस जाएगा, ऑल फ्रॉम दिस पॉइंट. सो लाइक दिस पॉइंट रिलेज, दिस पॉइंट में नीचे ऑसिपिटल साइनस है, ऊपर सुपीरियर सजाइटल साइनस है, आगे स्ट्रेट साइनस है, एंड दोनों साइड में ट्रांसवर्स साइनस है. दिस इज कॉल्ड द कॉन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ साइनसेस because it acts as a meeting point for everything. यहाँ पे transverse sinuses end as sigmoid sinuses because they are S-shaped, right? Sigmoid sinuses. Now the sigmoid sinuses, ये लोग end sigmoid sinuses अपना sigmoid sinuses will end in inferior petrosal sinus, and here they will continue as superior petrosal sinus. Now जो superior petrosal sinus है and inferior petrosal sinus है, they will communicate with this sort of box sort of structure, this ascending box like structure. यहाँ पे inferior and यहाँ पे superior sagittal sinuses है. यहाँ पे basically आपका वो है venous plexus है, right? And connecting from the venous plexus, hold on, connecting from the venous plexus we have ऊपर से यहाँ पे the cavernous sinus, right? This is the cavernous sinus. वैसे ही आगे आएगा इधर cavernous sinus. तो फिर cavernous sinus में भी there is two intercavernous sinuses, anterior intercavernous sinus, posterior intercavernous sinus, anterior intercavernous sinus, posterior intercavernous sinus. And then जो ये है occipital sinuses जो नीचे आए is at this point they will continue down as the internal jugular vein. That's basically all I need to know, or we need to know, for dural venous sinuses. Now we'll say the same in the diagram. So like as we can see, ऊपर से superior sagittal sinus comes and ends at the confluence of sinuses, जिससे नीचे occipital sinus जा रहा है, which divides, and नीचे internal jugular vein निकल रहा है, and then it continues forward inferiorly to the inferior petrosal sinus, and the venous plexus is formed. तो यहाँ पे जो है these also continue inferiorly and relay to here. So like yeah, but then वो थोड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाता, दिखाते थे तो फिर पहले ही तो. And now here ये जो दो bulging है, these two bulgings are the cavernous sinus, the venous plexus, and जो ये ऊपर से आ रहा है, this whole thing, this ये वाला जो चीज़ है, ये superior petrosal sinus है, inferior petrosal sinus है, occipital sinus से आ रहा है, ये इधर से आ रहा है, And now this is the cavernous sinus, this is the venous plexus. Superior sagittal sinus, inferior sagittal sinus, transverse sinus. I hope that's all of the dural venous sinuses.